and welcome to Life in Envelopes. I am Jennifer Bleecher. This channel is all about planning, budgeting, paying off debt, and my very exciting journey from full-time teacher to full-time Etsy shop owner and YouTuber. So if that is something that you think you would like to see, then please subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you along on this journey. Okay guys, are you ready for this roller coaster ride? Oh my gosh. So for the last 20 years, when I was a teacher, I had a fixed income. And although sometimes it wasn't enough to pay my bills, at least I knew how much I was getting. This variable income, which changes from week to week, it's kind of tough on me. I'm still getting used to it. So what I'm using today is a Plum Paper notebook, the Budget by Paycheck Workbook by the Budget Mom, and the Budget Mom Filofax wallet. Everything I use in my video is linked down below, and anytime I have a discount code for you, it is also in the links below. Okay, so we're going to start with my weekly expense tracker. I did make a couple of changes I want to discuss with you, but first, I just want to show you visually so you get a visual picture of the difference that cash envelopes makes. So this is what my weekly check-in looks like when I'm using cash envelopes for my variable expenses, and this is what it looks like when I'm not doing that. So it's like, I just feel like it's so much more manageable this way. So if you're looking to simplify your budget, this might be a way for you to go. Okay, so the way I use her expense trackers is I use one expense tracker per week, and then I make a key down here where I calculate the total I spent in each of my budget categories. I've recently added, because I'm doing cash envelopes, how much money is taken out of the bank is here, but how much we actually spend is here. Last couple of weeks, I've been writing all the categories actual amount, but that doesn't make sense because the amount we take from the bank and the actual amount is the same for our fixed expenses. It only is different for the variable ones, so I'm only going to track the variable differences going forward. And I do this so that when I close out my budget at the end of the month to see where my money went, I have the most accurate number for those percentages. Okay, so let's take a look to see where the money went this week, starting with bills. So Google Fi are our telephones, and this is over budget. The way our phones work, it's actually a really good deal, and it's much cheaper than our old way. Our old cell phone bill was just under $300 a month, and this is usually about $52 a month. And the way it works is, as long as we're just using the internet at home, it's just like $52. But if we use like 3G or 4G, then it starts to add up and go above 52. We usually are able to keep it at 52, but this month it was a higher amount. Okay, the next bill was Netflix, and I've got to talk to David about this. This one was also higher than what we budgeted. I think it's supposed to be like 14 a month, or 14 or 15 a month, and we have been paying 20 for the last couple of months. And David said something like got changed and he went in and fixed it, but I don't think so. Unless that's just the way, how much it costs now. So I'll have to ask him about that. If that is actually how much it's going to cost now, then I need to fix that in my budget. Okay, and then the last bill that came out this week was our city bill. Luckily, this one was lower than what we budgeted. We budgeted $300 and it was only $277. So one out of three was lower than what we budgeted. Okay, no money went to debt this week. Food, it was a good food week for us because we use my Etsy income to determine how much money we're able to put towards our variable expenses. We already had cash left over in our gas, miscellaneous, and medical envelopes, so we only added money to our food envelope, and we were able, you can see this, we were able to add $300 this week to our food envelope. That was super exciting. Okay, and then the last one, we're not adding any sinking funds this week, but we are doing sinking funds next week. If you want to see that, make sure you come back. And then spending. So spending is also a cash envelope for Logan and I, but David, we just transfer money, his spending from our main account to his account. So we transferred $20 for David's spending money on Friday. Okay, so let's take a look at the budget. So starting with last week, I made one mistake that I need to fix. We used our bank card to pay for medical instead of the money from our cash envelope, and that was $20. And I didn't calculate it here or take it out of the cash envelope, so I need to calculate it somewhere. So this is where I'm going to calculate it. So 85 plus 20, so it's 105. So 105 should have come out, or is the actual amount that came out here. So 644 minus 105, 539. So we have 539 to work with. So I'm going to bring that over here. So that was our actual rollover, 539. Okay, so now that we have that fixed, we can have the most accurate information as we update week 3. Okay, so for sources for income in week 3, our child tax credit was actually $250. Our Etsy income was actually $454, which is very good for us, which is good because we didn't get paid anything from Etsy this week, which is what you'll see in a second. And then the rollover was a little bit different. It was actually $539. So that should be what, $1243, but let's just double check. $1243. So that gives us $1243 to work with. Okay, so let's write down the actual amount that we spent on our fixed expenses, our bills. So Google Fi was actually $77. The city was actually $277. And Netflix was $20. Okay, so let's see how much that is all together. $374. I'm going to double check my math and make sure I did that right. $374. Okay, so $1243 minus $374 leaves us with $869. Okay, so I'm going to bring that amount down here to our variable expenses. Trying to remember how I do this. Oh yes, so even though I didn't spend $300 on food this week, that is how much I took out of my bank, and this is tracking the money that's in my bank. So we are going to say 300 actually did come out of the bank. 45 actually came out for spending, and 150 actually came out for miscellaneous, and we didn't take anything out of the bank for gas or medical because we had money left over in our envelopes. Oh, you know, I think I forgot to put a sticker for miscellaneous on my calendar. I'll go back and do that later. Okay, so let's see all together how much we pulled out of the bank last week. $495. So interesting, I was only supposed to pull out $454, so I took out more than I should have, but I think we're going to be okay. Okay, so $869 minus $495. $374. So that leaves us with $374 to work with. Okay, so I'm going to, so there are no sinking funds from last week, no extra debt payoff last week. So let's look at our rollover amount. So we thought we were going to have $401, but we actually have $374. So we are going to roll over $374 to week 4 to help cover expenses in week 4, leaving us with a leftover amount of 0. So we have a place for all of our money at the end of this week. So let's go ahead and set up week 4. This is our week this week. So we're going to set this up. So for Etsy, I didn't make anything this week because my shop was closed from paycheck to paycheck while I was on vacation. So I'm budgeting 0, and I know the actual amount is going to be 0. So our rollover is $374. I will receive a check from YouTube this week. I have no idea how much it's going to be for. I can look it up, but I forgot to look it up before I came over here. But I've been averaging about $250 a month. And that is for, that's being paid for the commercials that you guys watch. So thank you guys so much for watching my commercials, for subscribing to my channel, for giving thumbs up, all of those help me in bringing income in for my family. Okay, so student loan, we currently are paying $40 a month for my student loan. That's our budget this week, and the van will also come out for $445. So are we gonna have enough money, you guys? Let's see. Okay, oh, I think so, maybe. So we have $624 for total income. This will be $485. Okay, so $624 minus $485. I'm having a hard time breathing, you guys. Okay, $624 minus $485. For a second there, I thought we were gonna go negative, which is not cool. Okay, so I'm gonna bring that down here. So we are starting with $139. And wait a second. Yeah, okay, so David already took out his spending. I am not going to take any money out of the budget for Logan and I for our spending money, but I'm still going to try to stuff those with cash that we have left over from last week. So for food and house, we're not taking any additional money out this week from the bank. We're not taking any money out for gas, and we're not taking any money out for medical. So it's just that $20 for David. So $139 minus 20 is $119. So we're left over, oops, sorry. So for our variable expenses, we're only taking out $20, leaving us with a leftover amount of $119. Holy shamoly, you guys. Whew, this low income stuff is serious. Okay, so this is how I'm gonna do sinking funds now. We took sinking funds out of our budget so that I wouldn't have to sub, because sinking funds were $600 a month. That's 6 days of subbing, so I don't have to do. So what we're doing instead is, with our cash envelopes, anything we have left over in our cash envelopes at the end of the month, so it'll be at the end of this week, we're going to take that and use it to stuff our cash envelopes. So when you come back next week, we'll be able to see how much we're going to actually put towards these cash envelopes at the end of the week. But the total amount is not going to affect our bank budget because it's cash that we've already taken out of the bank. So it's not going to be extra money coming out of the bank. It's not going to come out again. It's already out. I hope that makes sense. Okay, we're not focusing on extra debt right now. I would love to do that, really, I would, but we gotta live first before we can do that. Okay, and then because it's the end of the month, I don't want to roll anything over. So let's see. So if we have 119 left, what should I do with that? I could put it towards extra debt, or I could put it towards sinking funds. Oh, decisions. You know what? For right now, I'm just going to say sinking funds or extra debt. We will decide next week. You and I will decide next week. You know, help me make that decision. Okay, so we want to zero out our budget at the end of the month and just start. I like to do that. Sorry. So that's 119. So 0 left over to start the new month. Okay, just breathe, just breathe. Oh, you guys, I laugh because it makes me happy. I don't know. I don't think this is a joke by any means. It's not a joke. I'm just trying to enjoy the process because it is exciting and it is fun to do this. It's also just a little bit stressful, but yeah. Okay, so let's go to the notebook and the cash envelopes and see where we are as far as the cash envelopes go. Okay, so the way I was using this page before wasn't quite working for me. One of you had a great suggestion and I've implemented it this week. So let me show you what I've done. So I'm now taking the total amount at the end and I'm adding it to the budgeted amount to give me a new total amount that's in the envelopes. So let's just go through this and I'll show you what I mean. Well, so for example, last week food, we ended with $80. I put $300 in, so now we have $380 in that food envelope. Gas, we ended the previous week at $36. I didn't put anything in, so that left us with $36 in the envelope. $36, yeah. So when we started this week, we had $380 in our food envelope, $36 in our gas envelope, and $30 in our medical envelope. So let's see how much money we have in these envelopes now. Okay, so we're gonna come back to Jennifer and Logan's cash envelopes in just a minute. Let's start with food. So here's my idea. I was thinking about taking some money from this envelope to pay for Logan and for mine and Logan's spending since our bank account is really low. So, but that's gonna take money out of our food. I think, okay, let's just do that. Okay, so let me do that first. So I get 20 and Logan gets 5. So if we do that first and then we'll see how much we have left for food and house. Okay, so now let's see how much money we have left in our envelope. So let me see how to do this. So what I'm going to count will be the difference, and then I'll be able to calculate how much we spent out of this envelope this week. It didn't all go to food because some of it went to spending, but anyways. So 50s always throw me off. I'm going to have to use a calculator, guys. So 50 plus 20, 40, 60, 81 plus 15. Okay, so we still have $165 left in this envelope for food, and I am predicting that we're actually not going to spend all of that this week because I already wrote out my grocery list and it's not that big. So the difference is $165. So how much did we take out of that envelope this week? $215. So we took out $215 for food. This is food and household expenses. So we have $165 left right now. Today we're not going to add anything, so that's going to give us $165 in our envelope to work with this week. Okay, so gas, we had 36, 10, 20, 30, 35, 36. We still haven't gotten gas, you guys. My tank's low. We're gonna get gas today or tomorrow for sure, but we didn't spend anything on gas, so we still have $36. I'm not adding anything today, so we'll still have $36 for gas, which will be plenty of money for gas. I'll just tell David pumps the gas. It's a big joke between him and I, but he always pumps my gas for me because he's a sweetheart. Don't tell him I told you that. But I'll just have to tell him, don't go above $36. Medical, so we had $30 in our envelope last week. And we have $30 still because we didn't spend any. Is that right? Yeah, I didn't go to the pharmacy at all this week. And I didn't go to the doctor. Yeah, so we still have $30 in our envelope. We're not adding anything today, so we still have $30 in that envelope. Okay, so we actually spent $215. The difference, so I'm gonna add all this together. So 165 plus 36 plus 30 is 231. Okay. So now that I'm doing it this way, this column is kind of redundant, right? Because it's exactly the same as the one before. Oh well, it's fine. Okay, so that means we have $231 this week. Guys, I'm really loving cash envelopes because as you see, like we don't have very much money left in our bank, but well, just so you know, there is a cushion in our bank. There is a $1,000 cushion in our bank plus some savings that we put aside because we knew times were about to get tough. So don't worry about my bank going negative. My budget might go negative, but my bank is okay. So anyways, but budget-wise, we don't have that much money left, but I still feel totally okay because I have the cash in my cash envelopes to pay for food, gas, and medical that would come up this week, and that's just a really great feeling. In addition to that, I'm not tracking this right now, but we do have money in our miscellaneous envelope. This was extra money that we put in that we didn't need for our envelopes. So let's see how much we have. I am going to have to use some of this to buy Logan some back to school supplies. We actually went yesterday to try and get some, but it was a zoo at Target. It was totally crazy, and we decided it would not be a fun time to go shopping, so we're going to have to do it in the next few days. We'll have to go. Okay, so 50, 150, 160. So we still have $160 in here. So part of it's going to go to Logan's back to school, and then whatever is left in here and whatever is left in these envelopes as well are going to go to our sinking funds at the end of next week. So that should be fun. Next week should be fun. So next week should be a lot of fun as we close out the budget and set up the new budget. So I'm excited to see how much we're going to actually be able to put towards our sinking funds next week. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, will you please give it a thumbs up? And I will see you all again next time. Bye everyone.